Hey guys, welcome back to your favorite streamer and recorder, YouTube. Just YouTube for now. Then we'll see how it goes. I might go to Kick or Rumble or we'll see. Welcome back to XCOM 2 War, the Chosen Modded Core Collection. I think it's episode 8 right now.
Is that necessary? No. Neither's missing your daughter's competition to do payroll. The Paycom employees do their own payroll, so you don't have to miss your daughter's big day. Time to shine.
Okay.
Get Paycom and make the unnecessary unnecessary.
Let's load it up.
Okay.
Yes, focus on an American Home Shield warranty. It can protect your covered home systems and appliances like this AC with a repair or replacement.
Thank you. It's home, not home.
Yeah, it's home. Pretty sure it's home. American Home Shield. Don't worry, pay warranty.
Saving on your education should be a right, not a competition. At University of Phoenix, you'll get the best scholarship or savings you qualify for. Simple as that. Explore scholarship options at University of Phoenix.
I've never once had to wait for insurance to approve a test or approve a medication. You didn't have to worry about any of those things thanks to the donations and our families for every business completely changed our lives.
In the furniture business, move fast.
We have company.
Qualified candidates to keep up. We needed a project manager yesterday. We posted a job with ZipRecruiter and had our guy on site 5 days. He was qualified in every way. ZipRecruiter finds the best candidates for all our jobs. They helped us build our dream team. Did it fast. Is that too fast?
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate for the first day. Try for free at ZipRecruiter.com/box.
I hear it all the time. People tell me they'd love to buy gold, but because it's gold, they think it must be complicated. It isn't. Not with Roslyn Capital. With Roslyn, the entire process from start to finish is built on one concept. One. Keep
Interesting.
it simple. Roslyn Capital, a trusted leader in helping people acquire precious metals. Gold bullion, Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs, and our premium coins can help you preserve your wealth. Call Roslyn Capital at 800-630-8900 to receive your free Roslyn Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and silver brochures. With Roslyn, there are no hassles, no gimmicks, and our shipping is fast and reliable. Remember, keep it simple. Make gold your new standard. Call Roslyn Capital today at 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening. It's amazing. Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody. It's a disgrace, and you see it, the media sees it. And it's really very sad. If you look at the legal experts and the legal scholars, everyone will say this trial is a scam. Former President Donald Trump just a few minutes ago complaining about the fact that Judge Juan Merchan would not grant the defense's motion to issue a gag order on Michael Cohen. He did go so far, though, as to tell the prosecution to keep their witness quiet. Not sure why he didn't issue that order himself. Fox Business' Lydia Hu was in the overflow room of the court today, where she gets to hear the testimony live as it's happening. What was your impression of the day? Not quite as fiery as Tuesday and yesterday. It's still quite
Shit. I thought I had everybody in Overwatch. What the fuck happened?
We need testimony talking about documents relating to phone calls and text messages. But all of this was really important to lay the groundwork for what is to come on Monday, which of course is testimony from Michael Cohen. What is to be, maybe the prosecutor's star witness, second to Stormy Daniels, or right up there alongside with her. He's really pulled together all the various threads. It kind of seems like all roads and all communications with Michael Cohen. And just as I would an example, John, one of the pieces of evidence that prosecutors used to say were phone records of all the various parties. And just Michael Cohen's phone records alone show him talking to Pete Davidson, talking to Hicks, Dylan Howard, the former President Donald Trump, Alan Weisselberg. The point they're getting is that Michael Cohen is going to be the one that's going to be able to answer for the prosecutors. Why did they want to buy Stormy Daniels' story? Why was she asked to sign an NDA? And importantly, as it relates to the actual documents, let's remember this is a case about falsified documents after all. Why did Michael Cohen structure his invoices such that they ran 12 months in the following year, each for a reimbursement of $35,000 for each month, to reach $460,000 when the payment was only $130,000? Was he providing other types of legal services? Now, all of that being said, even with that testimony, which we believe, will be fiery and full of explosive moments, and considering the animosity between Trump and Cohen, defense will very much have a field day.
Ooh, excellent.
Taking blows at Michael Cohen and all his many credibility issues. As we know, he convicted on tax charges, perjury, not known for his veracity and truth-keeping time. So a lot to come. Today was an important day with TJ's testimony to lay the groundwork for what's to come.
And we were talking to Mark Einglash about this yesterday and said, if you were Trump's defense attorney and you got Cohen on the stand, what would you do? And he very forcefully said, I would eviscerate him. So we'll see what Tom Blanche and Susan Nicholas do if he gets on the stand. Lydia, great to talk to you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring in Jay Town, former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama. Jay, I know you've been watching this along with us, and I can't wait to get your reaction to Judge Rashawn telling the prosecution to tell Michael Cohen to be quiet. But no gag order.
Yeah, Judge Rashawn is quite the co-pilot of courage as a jurist. He's proven time and again throughout this trial. And John, I think you were making a very good point that he seems to react after the toothpaste is out of the tube, after the bell has been rung, whatever metaphor you want to use. And so it's the same thing with Michael Cohen. He has gagged the former President of the United States, who's the presumptive nominee. He will be the nominee for the Republican Party come July. He's gagged him under the guise of the integrity of this process inside of this courtroom. Okay, fine, that's why you have a gag order. This gag order is unconstitutional, but let's pretend that it isn't. Well, he's not unaware of what Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels have been saying on social media and in public throughout the last year, certainly throughout this trial. It could brought to his attention, but he has refused to acknowledge it. And then
Shit.
what Cohen has been doing this week, and now that they know he's going to be a witness on Monday, the judge said, look,
Ooh, Viper King looks juicy.
he could have ordered it from the bench, Judge, and he pointed that out. Again, not exactly a profile of courage, and his permissive bias just sort of continues to shine through from his perch up there on the bench.
Jay, one aspect of this case with Stormy Daniels that I don't think really has been aired much is that way back in 2011, she was trying to sell her story to In Touch magazine for apparently some $15,000. The story did not ever run, and potentially one of the reasons why it didn't run was because In Touch magazine called up the Trump organization to get comment. Michael Cohen apparently threatened to sue them if they ran the story. So that was back in 2011 that Michael Cohen was looking to have this story squashed. President Trump wasn't even thinking about running for president at that time. I think maybe he talked about it, a couple of times, just kind of teasing folks with it. So if they wanted the story quashed in 2011, what was the reason for that? And was that the same reason that they wanted the story quashed when it reemerged in 2016? Didn't have anything to do with the campaign in 2011. But suddenly when they do
Excellent.
something in 2016, it's all about the campaign according to Alvin Bragg.
Viper King is at a commish.
Excellent point. And look, I was prosecutor at what most would consider a fairly high level for 22 years in the Marine Corps for the state of Alabama, and then as a United States attorney. Prosecutors all over the country are looking at this case. They're looking at the theory that Alvin Bragg and his team have cobbled together. and they are embarrassed at how this case is actually decimating the trust and confidence that we all need as prosecutors in our justice system. And I don't believe, John, that when Alvin Bragg is sliding into his 58 regular suit every morning, that he actually thinks about that. I think that he is more thinking about how he is trying to stuff up or embarrass the former president of the United States. We're 4 weeks into the trial. We've got 1 year, 3 weeks worth of witnesses, maybe just a week or so more to go. And I've yet to see a shred of evidence that Donald Trump was guilty of any element.
Holy fuck, they like the taste of you, eh, Reaper?
All the legal experts are still confused as to what all the crimes being alleged are. Again, circling back to Judge Rashan, notice pleadings are a thing, right? You should know what charges you are facing. We still don't know, and Judge Rashan doesn't seem much sure about that any more than he does what Michael Cohen is saying.
Jay, one last quick answer, if I may. Would you advise the former president not to testify?
Well, it really goes back to the point. I mean, earlier on, I think Trump would get on his hand and he would tell the truth. But because Rashan has proven, just in the 403 evidence that came in with Stormy Daniels, all of this quadrant salacious detail that is completely inadmissible, but they allowed it anyway. Judge Rashan has proven that if Trump were to testify, where might the state go outside of the scope of his testimony?
Hey, Jay, we got to run, but thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. See you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
The prosecution settled with Michael Cohen gearing up to take the stand next week. How is the Trump team preparing? We will ask Trump attorney Will Sharp.
First psoriasis, then psoriatic arthritis. It was really holding me back.
Standing up, even walking was tough.
My joints hurt. I was afraid things were going to be worse.
That's just not me.
Not being there for my family, it hurt.
I had to do something. I started the sentence.
I'm feeling good. Watch me.
Cosentyx helps people with psoriatic arthritis move, look, and feel better. It targets more than just joint pain. It treats the multiple symptoms like joint swelling and tenderness, back pain, helps clear skin, and helps stop further joint damage. Serious allergic reactions, severe skin reactions that look like eczema, and an increased risk of infections, some fatal, not occurring. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen.
It's good to be moving on. Watch me.
Move, look, and feel better. Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
We all know Mark Wahlberg as an American movie star, but what makes him unique is what he does when he's not on the silver screen. Mark is passionate about his family, his faith, and his country. He joined me on a tour of our 9/11 global exhibit. With his powerful voice, he's helping us to never forget those who have sacrificed so much.
Guys are doing amazing work.
Our foundation, you know what we do. We take care of our first responders and Gold Star widows, the loved ones died in the line of duty, or leave their children behind. That's not with the agent service members. We build these mortgage for a small home. You're the minister.
Absolutely.
St. Francis of Assisi is a brother system for all.
Absolutely. We don't have to do our part. There is definitely a role for every one of us to contribute.
Excellent.
Sort of way.
See, now we don't hold any grudge with any New York Boston sports rivalries because of all that you guys do.
I had the good fortune of being able to visit Afghanistan and to see the sacrifice that our brave men and women actually make to fight our freedoms. I don't take that lightly.
For our loyal citizens.
Because I got involved, I was inundated with thoughts about how big people get out for sure.
It represents all the heroes that died in 9/11. And we're always going to hold it to the highest standards of any foundation in America.
The fact that this is something that has literally touched the fact of every single person, they just have to be a part of it. And your reputation beyond the kind of everybody knows what money is going. Every single dollar. God bless you. We need your help to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophic service members, Gold Star, and all the first responders and young children. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting teachingteam.com.
CIDP disproves.
CIDP derails.
Let's be honest. CIDP sucks.
But living with CIDP
Doesn't have to.
When you sign up at training through CIDP.com, you'll find inspiration and real patient stories, helpful tips, reliable information, and more.
CIDP can be tough.
But finding hope,
Just got a little easier.
Sign up at ShiningThroughCIDP.com.
be heard, be hopeful, be you. Go to 1-800-5
Find the perfect gift.
Wow, look who you are.
This is amazing. What do you want to say about that? So cute.
I will gain an even greater understanding of just how he managed to accomplish these rapid changes.
Exclusively in people authorized dealers.
The clock is ticking down in former President Trump's criminal trial, and we are now officially on Michael Cohen.
Pretty happy about what I got. That's excellent.
Good to be with you as well. Happy Friday to you. I'm Aisha Stanford Sanders Smith, and this is America's Reports, Hour 2. Here we go. Just wrapped up.
Yo.
And prosecutors say that it's possible that they will rest their case as early as next week, with only 2 more witnesses left to call. We expect Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen, who's at the center of this, to take the stand as early as Monday.
Former President Trump has a big campaign rally in the Jersey Shore tomorrow, and he said this while leaving court moments ago.
There is no gag order to Michael Cohen. What the judge did was amazing. It was amazing. Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody. It's a disgrace.
Frustrated former President Trump there. Let's get straight to Nate Floyd. He's live outside the New York State Supreme Court. What happened today? Hi, Nate.
Hey, Aisha. So yeah, at the end of court, you just heard former President Trump speak on this. The judge declined to impose a gag order on Michael Cohen in this case as he continues discussing it on social media. But another key issue that was discussed at the end of court today is the lack of testimony, so far at least, from former Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg, who's in jail on perjury charges right now. Prosecutors say that a separation agreement with the Trump Organization prevents him from speaking to prosecutors, whereas Trump's team
29 fucking intel, 1 away. You shitting me?
And he testified in this case. It ended with the judge saying that he wants to see some effort to compel Weisselberg to testify. So we'll see what comes of that possibly next week. We also, as you just heard from President Trump speaking about the lack of a gag order on Cohen, he also talked about how he believes this case is politically motivated.
Hey, Commander.
But this all comes out of Washington. It's the damage freaking Joe Biden alone that happens to be me. I'm a leading bigger the polls, and the American people get it. It's a scam.
So when Cohen takes the stand on Monday, the prosecution will attempt to connect Trump directly to his scheme to reimburse Cohen for paying adult film actress Stormy Daniels $130,000. Trump's former executive assistant at the White House, Madeleine Westerhout, finished testifying today. She said that Trump signed his checks with approved invoices at the White House, and she saw him do that while multitasking, talking on the phone, or discussing scheduling with his staff. Trump's lawyers attempted to prove that he couldn't operate with the same attention to detail with his finances after becoming president. Westerhout said Trump was upset when the Stormy Daniels story went public, but not because of politics, rather his family. She told the court, quote, he knew it would be hurtful to his family. So again, Michael Cohen, one of the key witnesses in this case, set to start testifying on
Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Nobody?
The prosecution says he is one of 2 witnesses they have left, so they anticipate possibly resting their case at some point next week.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Nate Floyd with that live report outside the courthouse. Thank you, Nate.
All right, let's bring in Trump Attorney Will Schaaf. Let's look ahead to next week since everything is done for this week. And Michael Cohen, here's what Jonathan Turner said about Michael Cohen in the recent call. announced his campaign for Congress. He said, "Who would have thought that District Attorney Alvin Bragg, like the porn star of the stand, would be the moral high ground for key witnesses?" He even disbarred convicted perjurer who is still seeking to make money off of the case. How much credibility will Cohen is going to have as we see Donald Trump rise back to Trump Tower here when the case is seen on Monday?
It would be somewhat limited in what I can say because of this outrageous, unconstitutional, unilateral reaction. That's obviously going to be something that's going to weigh very heavily in terms of assessing its credibility going forward.
Well, Michael Cohen gave an interview to Politico last month, and the headline read, Michael Cohen on the trial, prepared to be surprised. We can pull up the quote here. It says, campaign finance and business record fraud is a crime. If it was you or anybody else, it would already have been indicted. But he says, prepare to be surprised. Well, what could he possibly say on Monday that would surprise you?
I have no earthly idea. But look, this case should have never been brought in the first place. We're talking about the most novel, unprecedented legal theory perhaps ever presented in the American courtroom. Thus far, the prosecution has not presented any evidence whatsoever that President Trump actually did anything illegal. And I don't think anything could emerge
such an
that would change that
impressive understanding of the processes
with
involved
all
in
of
the
these
editing
proceedings,
and
really. As
manipulation
I
of
alluded to
alien
before,
genetic
we're under
material.
this unilateral gag order where President Trump and our team are restricted from talking about Michael Cohen, and yet Michael Cohen has made numerous extrajudicial statements about this case as it's proceeded. And it just goes to show how outrageous these proceedings have been, particularly with respect to the gag order and our ability to speak publicly about the miscarriage of justice going on in New York right now.
Well, we should point out that you're involved with the Trump immunity case that's now before the Supreme Court of the United States. That will determine whether or not the charges on January 6th will go
We've
forward.
already dedicated this fearsome creature, long referred to as a berserker.
I only had 2 more of the other one anyway, so no big deal.
Other mutant
Judge
species we
Ali
have
Cannon,
encountered
the board is saying
for reasons yet unknown. This particular variant is unique in that it is altogether consumed by what can only be described as blind
allowed
rage,
to
thirst for combat,
hear
unlike
Trump
any
appeal
other
on
creature.
finding Rose's disqualification from the Georgia election case. It has led some people to think it was awesome
Redirecting our
to observe that this wall
We'll get to
of
work on the new
warfare that's
project
launched
right
against
away.
Donald Trump is beginning to come this year. Democrats faced a critical choice last year. Try to win an election by confronting the real problem of weak and old president presiding over unpopular far-right policies, or try to regain an outcome by embracing a lawfare strategy. He chose the latter. Perhaps more will still be good as we turn to something, although that could play either way with the electorate. Lawfare is politics is a very risky business. As we head into the closing days of this trial, what do you think will give us?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. What we're dealing with here is banana republic type stuff. I think President Biden and his political allies wanted to keep President Trump
Save it.
basically every day from this past January through until Election Day. And fortunately, as these cases have moved through the courts in Florida and Washington, D.C. and in Georgia, the serious deficiencies with each of these indictments, both legally and factually, have come to light. We've seen the D.C. case stayed while we litigate these very weighty constitutional issues of presidential immunity. The Florida case is now delayed while we review serious allegations of prosecutorial misconduct, of issues with the custody of which evidence was kept from the time of the Mar-a-Lago raid through the indictment. Each of these cases, which appeared in some legal commentators' minds quite strong on the day they were indicted, they're falling apart under their own weight as we litigate them in court. And I think that's a dynamic that's going to continue playing out between now and election day.
Well, I have to ask you because you do represent Trump and you do talk to him frequently. A couple of weeks ago, down in Mar-a-Lago, he told reporters that he would testify in this trial. And he didn't just say, testify if it was in
Shit.
yeah, I would testifying. Absolutely. I'm testifying. I tell the truth. All I can do is tell the truth. Is that something that you would advise her at this point after seeing how everything has gone? And you know that people like Stormy Daniels are trying to egg him on to do that.
Look, I think that's ultimately going to be a decision for President Trump and for his Trump team after the prosecution closes his case.
Templars here? Shit.
President Trump is a highly compelling witness on this because he knows the truth, and the truth is absolutely nothing wrong, and certainly absolutely nothing illegal with respect to the case.
All right, well, sure. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
Great to be with you guys, as always. Thank you.
All right, here or there.
Yeah.
Do we have that piece of sound?
Wait, I'd really like to play it. Let's play it real quick.
Yeah, I would just say absolutely. Testifying, I tell the truth. I mean, all I can do is tell the truth. So it's him that was testifying, and almost every day when he shows up to court, there's a female reporter who asks to sit that very question to me when he testifies.
These missions here are the worst. Because it's so high tense, you know? You gotta get them out of there. And they keep dropping enemies and shit. So luckily the Lost are here to create an interference. Thank God for that. I really love XCOM. The best games ever made. It's my top 3. Along with Final Fantasy 1 way back when. And a few others. Cafferino.
Alright, so we have a deadly tornado in a town in Tennessee. We're going to show you how folks are trying to pick the pieces.
Plus, outrage is growing on President Biden's decision to withhold weapons from Israel. But House Republicans say they've got a solution. Bill McCurry joins us on that next.
This is the time when the rubber hits the road, where Israel needs to rely on its most important ally, the United States. And this is where Joe Biden, given that opportunity, has completely fallen down on the ground.
Who's keeping score?
We handcraft every Stearns & Foster using the finest materials like indulgent memory foam and ultra-conforming ear springs for a beautiful mattress at indescribable comfort. Save up to $800 on select adjustable mattress at StearnsandFoster.com.
I was here when I was told age-related macular degeneration could jeopardize my vision. It was hard, but taking Preservision was easy.
Preservision has the exact label for the A-4 recommended by the NEI.
I'm taking control like millions of others.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you about life insurance through the Colonial Penn Program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget,
What the fuck, man?
remember the 3 keys.
What are the 3 P's?
The 3 keys of life insurance on a fixed budget: price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54. What's my price?
You can go for $9.95.
I'm 65 and take medications. What's my price?
Also $9.95.
I just turned 80. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan available for you. Options start at $9.95 a month. No medical exam, no health question. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guarantee.
Get the fuck out of there.
So your rate can never go up for any reason. So call now for more information. And you'll also get the free beneficiary plan. And it's yours.
Finally.
Just for call. So call now for free information.
Call 1-800-700-2020 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-700-2020. Don't wait. 1-800-700-2020. Call now.
Get you out of here, buddy.
Most of my life, after seeing my parents cook, so I
Got my Templar back. Hell yeah.
some of the key dishes. And I like to cook my own food because I want to know what's in the food. Balance of nature, it's already incorporated into my diet. I've looked at other supplements out there, and they don't need balance of nature. So I'm taking the initiative to stay in balance of nature forever.
Oh, fucking right. Let's get you boys out of here. Ranger.
Rebuilding the Francis Scott Key Bridge from the Fenland to the coasts and the bipartisan.
Get my sniper out of here. Hell yeah.
Detail their common ground on special report. Attention former Marines and family members stationed.
Such a tense mission. I hate them. I like them, but I don't like them, you know. Things can go bad real easy on them.
Our troops are making it look easy out there, Commander. All thanks to you. Our influence with the resistance factions has motivated them to share some new information on the Chosen.
Impeachment over President Biden's ultimatum to deny weapons to Israel if it invades Rafah. They say it's becoming a quid pro quo situation and an abuse of power. We've got team coverage with analysis from Bill McGurk. But first, let's go live to Jackie Heinrich. She's live at the White House with the latest from the administration. Jackie, an article of impeachment has now officially been filed. That's right, Aisha. Republican House Inquiry Bills filed one article of impeachment as President Biden all rights vote. President Biden abused the powers of his office by soliciting a quid pro quo with Israel while leveraging vital military aid for policy changes. This egregious action not only compromised the credibility of the United States, but also undermined the interests of our longstanding ally, Israel. Bills made the move of drawing comparisons to House Democrats impeaching former President Trump over allegedly withholding military aid to Ukraine in an attempt to get dirt on Biden's then political opponent. Biden's action is not without precedent. Ronald Reagan laid F-16s to Israel at a time of escalating violence in the Middle East, and George H.W. Bush held up $10 billion in loan guarantees to stop Israeli settlements in occupied territories. But one thing Biden did fail to do here was notify Congress. They did not inform the Appropriations Committee. They did not inform the Formulations Committee. They did not inform the Armed Services Committee. It was a unilateral decision. Even congressional Democrats are blasting Biden.
Even in death,
I didn't agree with that. When you have the kind of enemy that has no conditions or morals or decency or any kind of
although I had realistic expectations as to the limited resources and facilities available.
I haven't seen anything for Israel's conduct that would ever justify it.
Even with the ship's dampened.
That sentiment was echoed by 26 House Democrats who wrote to Biden today expressing dismay and urging a reversal. The White House defended the president's choice, writing, "Our actions have been done consistent with the law, and this action doesn't involve any failure to spend or even delay spending funds appropriated by Congress. That every last cent of these funds will be spent consistent with legal obligations, including with respect to the recently passed bill." Israel has said it will probably
it's a good one.
to eliminate Hamas with or without the backing of the United States. And Jackie, Congressman Mills will be on live with Mark McCallum in the next hour, so we'll find out if he's spoken with Team Johnson, how they plan to move that forward. That's the higher plan for House today.
Let's rebuild very conscious consider escape politics for the Wall Street Journal every once in a while. We like to get into the Wayback Machine when it comes to President Biden and show what he said then versus what he's saying now. Listen to this 2019 interview that he did with PBS's Judy Woodruff about the dangers of withholding aid from Israel. Look at a tragic mistake. I strongly oppose Israel's settlement policy on the West Bank. I've made that clear to Bibi when I was vice president.
Progress.
We want to suspect the aliens' work on the Avatar project. We should hit one of their facilities as soon as possible.
Only true ally in the entire region. It's absolutely preposterous. It's just beyond my comprehension.
Well, clearly it's within his comprehension now.
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, for President Biden, we see that he has kind of an Alice in Wonderland approach to words. They mean whatever he wants them to mean at the moment, and they're not meant to last beyond that moment. He can change them. Like ironclad, his ironclad commitment to
Save it.
and unfortunately, it's not usually called on.
Bill, this issue has really divided Democrats across the board, especially on Capitol Hill. And we just heard from John Fetterman, but I want to play a different line from him because I want to really pay close attention to the first two lines of what he says here.
I didn't agree with that. It was disappointing. That doesn't change my support for the president, for the situation, but I do believe that given in that situation when you have the kind of enemy that has no conditions or morals or decency or any kind of a bond, and I don't think we
Excellent. Oh, it's a covert action thing. Okay.
So, Bill, John Fetterman saying that, he's obviously condemning what the president is doing, but he said that doesn't change my support for the president. Shouldn't it change the support for the president? I mean, how do you take the Democrats seriously in their criticism if they just continue to stand by these policies?
Yeah, that's, I think, what we're seeing playing out is concerns about the election, and especially swing states like Michigan, where there's a lot of Muslim voters, and Joe Biden is afraid of alienating them. As a result, he's alienated both sides. The idea that the people carrying genocide Joe signs are going to be persuaded to vote for him, I think is ridiculous. All he's doing is alienating both sides of this. So he's been a very uncertain showman. But I think the background to all this, there's a tectonic shift in American politics, with the Republicans becoming the allies of Israel and the Democrats becoming hostile. Remember, back when Obama was running for president again, at the convention, they moved Israel. Can you imagine what they would do today? And the Republicans and Joe, my former boss, George W. Bush, were largely Arabists. They were hostile to Israel, but they were considered more friendly to the Arab regime. That's all switching now. And the politics is all jumbled because of it.
Yeah, obviously, there's going to be a lot of protests at the DNC, so we could see them out in force. Let me ask you this question, though, because like Bill, you've been around long enough to remember the Reagan administration. How is what Biden is threatening to do now different in any way than what Reagan did a couple of times back in the 1980s?
Well, first of all, I think Joe Biden's action comes after the greatest attack that Israel has endured since World War II, since the Holocaust. This outrageous attack on October 7th, which Senator Fetterman was alluding to. When you attack grandmas, like you go out looking for them and slit throats and stuff, there's no moral bottom. So it's a serious attack, and they're right there. They're right inside Israel, and I don't think anyone will leave them involved. So I think the seriousness of the threat, then coming on top of Joe Biden, reported an ironclad agreement, he goes over and makes a speech, and too often this is Joe Biden. Words that turn out not to mean anything. So I think it's a really dangerous position.
So let me just follow up with this quick question. Reagan did call it Akabega when they were showing the Palestinians and saying, cut it out, and they did. And this is really hypothetical. But what do you think Reagan would do in this particular instance?
This worries me. How fast that went up.
After, again, as I say, the terrorist attack that was, unparalleled in its barbarity. So I think the fact that another president 40 years ago threatened some weapons. Israel's had a lot of disagreements with American presidents, all of them, pretty much, over the last 40 years. It's a sovereign nation. It has to do what it's going to do, that it decides for itself. I think if America ever had an ally that undermined us at a similar point, people would rightly be outraged. After 9/11, if they said, don't go after Al Qaeda or stop, or we're not going to help you, I think American people would be outraged. I think the situation is that Hamas has to be defeated. I don't think there's a middle ground. They're either defeated or they're going to gather and there'll be another attack. Maybe it's not now, maybe it's 10 years from now. I don't know anyone else who would put up with that.
Well, and Bill, I think we crossed the Rubicon too a few weeks ago when Iran sent those drones at Israel.
By the suit.
Bill McGurn, thank you for joining us live. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Look down on the left-hand side of the screen at the Jersey Shore's out of Wildwood. On the right, the last time Trump campaigned there back in 2020, right before COVID shutdowns. His team has expected thousands of people to come out for a big rally there tomorrow. Kevin McEnany joins us next as Trump gets out of court and hits the trail.
Oops. Keep pressing that.
Leaving destruction in the South. Fox Weather's Max Gordon is live in Tennessee.
Shit, what do I need? Alloys.
Tennessee after deadly storms swept
Need 4 alloys.
All the latest coming up after the break.
Having worked in one of the facilities, I can tell you firsthand. They do
Hi, I'm Wayne DeVay. Did you know there's only been 2 times in American history, 2, where the national debt was larger than gross domestic product? World War II and right now. That's a deep hole, and I don't know how we'll climb out. That's why I buy gold from Roslyn Capital. Roslyn Capital is a trusted leader in helping people acquire gold bullion. Lady Liberty gold and silver proofs and premium coins can help you preserve your wealth. Call Roslyn Capital to receive your free Roslyn Guide to Gold, Gold and Precious Metals IRA, and Silver Brochure. With Roslyn, there are no gimmicks, no hassles, and they have fast, reliable shipping. Ask yourself, are you safe? Make gold your new standard. Call Roslyn Capital today at 800-630-8900. 800-630-8900. That's 800-630-8900.
We're hitting the road and talking to people about their hearts, whether mobile and cardio mobile. How's your heart? Doing good. Is it? I think so. You think so? But how do you know, right? Somebody don't actually know. You don't actually know. I believe it. Let me show you. It looks like a credit card, but it is a cardio mobile card. That is a FDA cleared EKG device. See how it works? Yeah. Winner gets to check your heart rate. 1, 2, 3, heart with cardio mobile card. You can take a medical grade EKG in just 30 seconds from anyone. Cardio mobile card is proven to detect atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke, and it's the only personal EKG that's FDA cleared to detect normal heart rhythm.
Alloys.
You know, Mother's Day is coming up, right? Give that as a gift to your mom. Great idea. I like that. This year, give mom peace of mind for Mother's Day with Cardio Mobile Card for just
Scilab.
Get Cardio Mobile Card at cardio.com or Amazon.
What will you do when the power goes out? Power outages can be unpredictable and inconvenient. But with a Generac home standby generator, your life goes on uninterrupted. Because when your Generac detects a power outage, it automatically powers up, giving your family the security and peace of mind they deserve.
We don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
8 out of 10 home generators are Generac, with thousands of satisfied customers.
Number one thing to prepare for
Looks like conditions on the ground are right for a quiet operation.
Generac
We can get our people into
and owning a generator is easier than ever. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. Call or go online now to request your free quote.
If you have chronic kidney disease, you can reduce the risk of kidney failure with Farxiga, because there are places you'd like to be. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, urinary tract or genital yeast infections, and low blood sugar. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum can occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis.
Okay.
Imagine a future where plastic is not poison, but instead remade
Oops.
over and over.
Blue screen, yep.
Keep our food fresher, our families
Okay.
safer, our planet.
Field medic.
To help us get there, America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars to create innovative products and new recycling technologies for sustainable change. Because when you push for smarter solutions, big things can happen.
Severe weather is ripping across the south, bringing 70-plus mile-per-hour winds, knocking out power to over 2,000 people on the ground. Fox Weather's Matt Sports is live on the ground in Tennessee. With what he is seeing all around you, I can see all the limbs stacked up behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. Emergency officials say the search and rescue
Skirmisher.
of this disaster is now wrapped up. It's now all about the recovery after an EF3 tornado ripped through this community. You can see trees snapped in half, pieces of sheet metal wrapped around some of these trees, and then if you look up the hill, you see a home with a roof ripped off, a barn destroyed, lots of destruction here in this community. Officials confirming one person is dead, several people were injured here. The EF3 tornado had winds of up to 140 miles per hour at its widest. It was half a mile wide for all of 11 miles, wreaking havoc through this community here in Columbia, Tennessee. 4 tornadoes in total touchdown here in Middle Tennessee, and that wasn't the only hazard. Associated with these storms, we had strong straight-line winds, large hail, and flooding. In one case, a 10-year-old little boy was swept into a storm drain. He suffered major injuries, though he is still alive. 2 other people were killed because of falling trees, one person here in Tennessee, and then one other person in North Carolina. Meanwhile, the recovery process here is ongoing. Power is slowly being restored, and a lot of work left to be done. Guys, back to you.
All right, Matt, thanks for sharing that very important report.
Saturday, we have a tremendous rally, and I hope you're all going to be there. It's in Wildwood, New Jersey, where there's going to be a big crowd. And we're going to be
Sharpshooter.
the campaign on Saturday.
Former President Donald Trump is out of the courtroom for the weekend. He will be heading to New Jersey to hold a campaign rally in the southern shore town of Wildwood. He drew a massive crowd there in January 2020 and is expecting a repeat of that tomorrow. Guess who was there at that rally back in 2020? Outnumbered Caitlin Rankin. She was the former press secretary to President Trump at that time, and she joins us now. So, Caitlin, that was one of the rare points, as I recall. It was a huge rally. But a lot of people would say, well, wait a second, Trump lost New Jersey by 16 in 2020. There is an Emerson poll that shows him within 5. But why would you spend your time in New Jersey as opposed to North Carolina, Georgia, or Pennsylvania?
Well, as we heard today from former President Trump, he thinks he can win New Jersey. He said that he's hoping to put more states in play with this great and admirable goal. But what strikes me are 2 reasons that you want to do this here. Number 1, to get the Philadelphia media market. So Pennsylvania, of course, is swing state that President Trump won in 2016. But number 2, the energy in Wildwood, New Jersey is really interesting. I remember being at that rally, showing up around midnight the night before, and there were hundreds of people camped out. There was, I would say, one of the most energetic rallies I've been to. So, way to draw a contrast between the energy of the rally, a man of the people, and then the court cases where you see President Donald Trump sequestered in a courtroom. I think it has that effect, having that energizing rally, and the contrast is pretty evident.
Well, he's trying, Kaylee, to take advantage of all the network coverage of this, trial. It's been going on now for 15 days, and so every time he comes out before and after, he'll talk about the trial as much as he can with his gag order, and then he'll go on to the issue of the day, which has been very smart for him, because now he can respond to what the president is doing, whether it's about Israel or whatever else, protesters. But how much can that really fill in for the actual face-to-face campaign time that he is missing out on every single day, where he could have been flying state to state to state, and he would?
Yeah, here's where I think it advantages him, and where it's a disadvantage. I heard you intimate earlier, Aisha, and I think you're exactly right, that we've seen kind of a pivot in his messaging outside of the courtroom. It used to be more on the defensive side, defending himself from the cases. Now it's more on the offense side. We heard him talk about inflation today. We heard him talk about Israel. He's really using these moments to drive the issues home. But here's where he's advantaged in this instance. He's driving the narrative in a way where, other networks would not cover his rallies. Many of them are covering his remarks outside of the courtroom. So if he can't drive a message on the campaign trail that's picked up far and wide, he can do so outside the courtroom. And he's changed the way he's messaging. I completely agree. To great effect over the last 2 weeks.
So this whole campaign of lawfare against the president has been cast by many observers as saying, well, if Biden can't beat him at the polls, and the polls show that he's losing by most swing states, then the only way to get Trump is to keep him off the trail by keeping him tied up in court and maybe just throw his rear end in the hoosgow as well. But it looks like that strategy is crumbling with the order from Judge Eileen Cannon in Florida, where she said, I can't make the trial date for the end of May, so I'm going to postpone indefinitely. The appellate court in Georgia saying we're going to hear Donald Trump's appeal of the Fani Willis order from the lower court. The lawfare thing does not seem to be working. Is there a chance, Kim, that Biden might just have to face Donald Trump in the polls November 5th?
Yeah, it appears so. I mean, John, look, if you scripted this out, of course no one ever wants to be indicted. I'm sure the former president didn't want any of these cases. But if that's the cards you're dealt, and you want to script it out to the best of your ability, you couldn't have scripted it any better. Having Alvin Bragg's case come first, which every legal analyst would tell you is really useless. The way the prosecution has brought up witness after witness, and Hope Hicks and Madeline Westerhout all speaking on him glowingly, it almost seems like witnesses for the defense. This is the way you want to do it. I think he at least gets a hung jury here. Should be an acquittal in my view, but I think he at least gets a hung jury. And what a tailwind that would be behind staring down any other cases. But the one he's staring down, you got a tailwind behind the hung jury. I think that's going to be the effect of this trial, and I think it's going to badly backfire on the Democrats.
I think it's a great point. Kaylee, really quickly, I want to play this soundbite from Senator Joe Manchin. Brian Kilmeade is having him on his show, and he was asked, do you think that President
Trump won't fucking enemy yet.
could win again in November? And here's his answer.
Will do.
Oh, I most certainly do. All pragmatic working people, hardworking people, they don't want government jumping on your back, telling you what to do and making it harder for you. They believe in freedom and democracy. They believe in all of that. They believe in giving a helping hand. They believe you ought to go off your butt sometimes.
What the fuck?
Okay, Kaylee, it doesn't surprise me because I know Joe Manchin very well, and I know that he likes to present himself and himself only as the last standing moderate Democrat. Was it surprising?
There it is. I was waiting for you about 5 turns ago.
Is one of the few moderates that we have left in Congress.
Oh my God. I gotta shift everybody now, okay.
Interesting to hear him say that. I think he's right. He's listening to people in his district. I spoke to a mom this week who said, my daughter is married, both her and her husband have great jobs.
Let's go up top after this, smooth.
Thought they'd be able to afford a house. Even with $80,000, it wasn't enough for a down payment. And then, of course, you're staring down huge interest rates on top of that. That's the reality people are dealing with. And someone like Joe Manchin talks to people in his district, and I imagine he's hearing a lot of that.
Kaylee, great to catch up with you this afternoon. Thanks so much for hanging around. We'll see you Monday on Monday.
Thank you.
Hey, it's hard to forget this chaotic scene at the border where migrants broke through the razor wire and trampled National Guardsmen. This happened in El Paso. Now a judge has made a decision that is leaving people there outraged.
former Border Patrol chief.
Okay.
Dupixent helps people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks.
Well, there we go.
What isn't better? This is better. This is better. That's better.
Getting it done.
Even this. Dupixent is an app for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It works with your asthma medicine to help improve lung function. That's pretty good. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's proven to help prevent asthma attacks. It can reduce or even eliminate oral steroids. Doesn't that make things better? Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, bursting shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. When you can get more out of your lungs, you can do more with less asthma. Isn't that better? Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic in asthma.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you about life insurance through the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54. What's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95.
I'm 65 and take medications. What's my price?
Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80.
Okay.
What's my price?
Well, what the fuck? There's like one turd on this whole map.
If you're age 50 to 85, call now.
Let's fuck them up anyways.
Life insurance plan available through Colonial Penn. Options start at $9.95 a month. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has guaranteed lifetime rate lock. So your rate can never go up for any reason. So call me.
Finally a patrol.
And you'll also get the free beneficiary plan. And it's yours free. Just for calling. So call now for free information.
Two patrol, 2 pods.
2020.
The other one was just hanging out.
1-800-700-2020. Call now.
This is perfect. He's a member of the family for sure. We always have the people. It just seemed like the thing to do. But he was very picky. We heard about the farmer's dog, and it was a complete transformation. His coat was so soft, had amazing energy. He was a completely different dog. It's a no-brainer that learning should have the best, nutritious, and delicious food possible. And investing in my dog's health and happiness.
Get started at longlivedogs.com. People diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. That's why we've offered a free book about mesothelioma for over 10 years. Mesothelioma is really all we do.
Call 800-500-5202 or go to mesobook.com. If you're worried, we're fixing to enjoy the book. Seriously, I'm only green, and all I can think about is spending all 3 kids in college.
With Empower, I get all my financial questions answered, so I don't have to worry.
Empower. What's next?
Sail through the heart of historic cities and unforgettable scenery with Viking. Unpack once and get closer to iconic landmarks, local life, and cultural treasures. Because when you experience Europe on a Viking longship, you'll spend less time getting there and more time being there. Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Remember this scene from El Paso back in March? Stampede at Margaret's traveling National Guardsmen at our southern border. Now a judge, hear this, is dismissing charges against the migrants involved. Our senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is live in Los Angeles. He's got the story, and why in the world did the judge drop the charges?
Because, John, the judge claims that the right paperwork was not filed with this court. He blamed the DA for the error.
Wow.
But the bottom line is 211 migrants
Trying to sandwich me.
scot-free
after illegally forcing their way into the US.
This guy's the worst out of the whole bunch.
So what's it, negligence? Politics?
Luckily, EMPs work good on him.
Could have gotten up to 180 days in jail for riding instead.
Robot in a human form.
Dismissed the charges, saying paperwork
Okay.
from one court for his was not properly filed. The DA, however, says Morales' court was designated to hear the charges and promised to appeal.
We feel that very strongly, and we feel that that it was done appropriately, and that his order is an improper order.
So appeal or not, to a great extent, this case is already dead. Of the 211 migrants charged, fewer than 40 remain in custody. Some were deported, but most were paroled into the U.S. with later court dates. For agents charged with securing the border,
The trap is set.
This is truly a slap in the face to all law enforcement across the country, and it sends, unfortunately, the message to individuals that continue to do crimes is, you can continue to do crimes because you're not going to face consequences.
Regular guy, I got one move to move. If it was the boss, I'd be fucking done in the same move, which is a pain in the ass. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay, so let's bring in Ron Vitello, former Border Patrol Chief and former acting ICE Director. Ron, I'll get your take, but I'll put it in the words of William in his report. He asked, was it negligence, was it politics, or do you think this was just a big mistake?
Well, I think it depends on where you're sitting.
This is why he's the worst.
The part what we all agree on is that this is very frustrating. You know, the border's been out of control for about the last 3 years. And these individuals with their sense of entitlement broke through this barrier, assaulted National Guard soldiers, and because of the politics and because of the right between the state of Texas and Washington, D.C., there are people that are playing games on both sides. So I think it probably depends a lot about where the paperwork was filed. I wish them luck on the
fucking grenades.
But the frustration is shared by all Americans. We all know that this should not happen on the U.S.-Mexico border in 2024, and it's only happening because this administration refuses to take their responsibility to secure that border.
So the El Paso District Attorney didn't seem too happy with all of this. His name is Bill Hicks. Here's what he said about it.
Shoo shoo.
It does not matter a person's immigration status. It does not matter if they are from this country or not. If you break the laws of the state of Texas, in particular in these riot cases, if you destroy property and you endanger lives, you will be held accountable.
So the district attorney wants these folks held accountable, but the judicial system somehow is kicking this case out.
Yeah, that's why we have three branches of government. They're supposed to balance each other. And so, you know, obviously he's committed to seeing justice here, but if the judiciary branch won't cooperate or is playing games, it's going to be a lot harder to do. Bottom line here is that those people don't deserve to be in the United States. They don't deserve to walk free, you know, without justice after what they've done. And so I wish him luck in pursuing the appeal.
So, Ron, the Biden administration wants to announce tougher asylum standards as we watch, you know, so many people come across the border. There was also reporting this week that there might be some executive actions coming down the pipeline as well. Here's Ron Johnson on what all of this really proves.
It just proves that President Biden has the authority to close the border if he wants to. We're looking for an enforcement mechanism to force President Biden to follow any agreement to use the authority he has to close the border. He simply doesn't want to. We're going to be dealing with the consequences of the Democrat and President Biden's open border for decades to come.
Ron, is that the answer? Just close the border? And what do you think those executive actions are going to do?
Well, where's the baseline here? The baseline is that this administration has absolutely no credibility on this issue as it relates to what happens at the border. When Joe Biden took office, we had 45-year lows in activity of illegal migration on the southwest border. Senator Johnson is someone who knows this problem intricately, having been the chairman of Homeland Security and Government Affairs for many years, including when I was in government. And so he knows the issue. He knows that the Biden administration, in this case, is doing too little, too late. And to his point, if the president wanted to fix this,
I'm not the one bombing it, man. Pain in the ass.
But if he wants to make this easier for the men and women, if he wants to give them
the tools
Get you out of the fire.
to that border. Make this problem smaller. He can do it. He just refuses to do it because he prefers the chaos over control of our southwest border.
Last time they checked 190,000 people.
But you alive? Yes, thank God. Good.
In December. Well, we're just about to enter the very, very busy season, so let's see how that goes. Monticello, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for reminding me.
All right. We are learning more from a Senate probe of embattled Biden Iran envoy Robert Malley. He is now accused of storing classified documents. That's good.
You know what's brilliant? Boring. Think about it. Boring is the unsung catalyst for bold. Or straps bold to a rocket and hurls it into space. Boring does. Boring. It's vacation time. Early retirement's possible. It's startup. Because it's smart, dependable, and steady. All words you want from your bank. For nearly 160 years, PNC Banks will you be boring, so you can be happy and fulfilled. It's pretty unboring if you think about it.
Higher shipping rates may be the cost of doing business, but at what cost?
Turn shipping to your advantage with low-cost ground shipping from the United States Postal Service.
If you're shopping for a home, Realtor.com's Real
Excellent.
lets you find homes close to
We got alloys and crystals. Excellent.
Don't all apps do that? Not really. Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust.
A wide leaf filter? It's well designed, efficient. I appreciate that.
Leaf filters technology keeps debris out of your gutters for Call 833 Leaf Filter today or visit leaffilter.com.
Skating for over 45 years has taken a toll on my body. I take Qunol turmeric because it helps with healthy joints and inflammation support. Why Qunol? It has superior absorption compared to regular turmeric.
Proud of what we're doing here.
Qunol, the brand I trust.
We're actually a threat to
Here's
the
the
aliens.
better for days.
Now
Here's
we're
the big
protecting
leaf
all those
scoop.
people calling the same umbrella.
Help fuel today with Boost High Protein.
Complete
nutrition you need.
become a race of tolerant
Without the stuff you don't. So, here's to now.
Maria and Julio thought their life would never slow down. Then, one day, it finally did. You were made to find inner peace. You were made to try to fly crisis to paradise.
After a horrendous week, Joe Biden in California raising money for his fledgling campaign, but no plans to visit the border. Full details.
Impaired driver killed my mother teaching. My life changed forever. During the pandemic, all of our lives changed, and many of us turned to alcohol
I'm sure
and
she'll
drugs.
find the results to be as intriguing as I do. It certainly is impressive looking, if nothing else. Although I am still not entirely sure what the aliens hope to achieve with such a grand design. Referred to by our troops in the field simply as a specter, it has so far been difficult to ascertain by what means this being is able to shift forms from a solid to gaseous state at will. I had theorized it could be a cloud of nanomachines, or perhaps even an insect swarm. However, those theories have proven false, while offering no new direction for my research. The turrets we see employed by Advent throughout their various facilities and security checkpoints are automated, much in the same way the alien mechanized units are. A significant amount of time was likely spent developing the optical sensors and targeting system, which I expect Shin will want to thoroughly evaluate following the disassembly. Someone else to pilot the Avenger. Never going to be anywhere without
President Biden suspended Iran envoy and classified government documents. Not in his garage next to his Corvette, nor in his study, nor at the Biden Center, but on his personal cell phone. Lucas Thomas, Lucas.
So probably not a good time to do that to run on for over here. Or you can see others along the Israel's war on Hamas, or his other proxies also attacking ships in the Red Sea, launching attacks from Lebanon. Robert Malley had his security clearance suspended in April last year. The State Department has never said why. Now, top Republicans in Congress have written Secretary of State Anthony Blinken demanding answers. Ranking members, they're showing the calls that they've been doing some digging of their own and say Malley, quote, allegedly transferred classified documents to his personal email account and downloaded these documents to his personal cell phone, and a hostile cyber actor was able to gain access to his email and or phone. The State Department reacting to the letter this week.
And we will take it seriously as we all do all congressional correspondence and we'll respond to it. The other things that relate to security clearances that it's just been the long-standing position of the executive branch of the department that we cannot brief Congress on, and that remains the case.
The local resistance
Here's Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
Just how bad does this conduct have to be and the security clearance is pulled by this ideological and radical White House? But we now know also that, among other things, 3 of Rob Malley's top advisors, his inner circle, that he relied on, were Iranian operatives. They were recruited by the government of Iran.
Justice Department is not short-sighted, and he is currently teaching at Princeton and Yale.
Wait a second. He had classified documents on the cell phone, and he hasn't been. Has he been investigated?
That's correct. There is an investigation ongoing. It has been charged. Seems like handling classified material. Big problem. Big problem with the house. Yes. Indeed.
Well, at least it's not going to slap you hard. Security. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Someone needs to customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Wait, there's an elevator? Only pay for what you need.
The Tempur-Pedic breeze makes sleep feel cool, so no more sweating all night or lasting air conditioning. Because the Tempur breeze feels up to 10 degrees cooler all night long. For a limited time, save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets.
This tiny hole trap, not for me. Now this is more like it. Same goes when I put for the flat hands-free with light Skechers slippers. Just step in and go without bending down or touching my shoes. Lightweight hands-free Skechers slippers.
Are you satisfied with the results you get from expensive nutritional supplements that don't contain more than 12 minerals? Now try Meal 150 with its 70 minerals and 80 other nutrients. We'll have to do videos on our website listed on the screen. You consider placing an order online or call our toll-free number. And by all means, check the number of minerals in the product you pick. And we need to be just as sharp and as healthy as I am and as good a shape. When you're 90 years old, you can see on full spectrum of minerals every day. Order now. You'll be glad you did.
If you own a small business, every second counts. 120 seconds to have the finishing touches. 900 seconds to a page of displays. Even shorter time for marketing, constant contacts with powerful tools. You can automate email and SMS messages, so customers get the right message, right time. Save time marketing, constant contact, because all it takes is 30 seconds to make someone stay. Get started today at ConstantContact.com. No big small, stand tall.
Sick of being hot, fed up with fans and sky-high electric bills? Then you need Arctic Air Pure Chill, the personal space cooler that cools your place while saving you money. Just get water and turn it on. Pure Chill has 3 Arctic settings and is whisper quiet for a comfortable night's sleep. Place it in the living room and never break a sweat. Stay cool while you cook and breathe easy as it humidifies your room. Plus, our True Shield filter removes odors. Get your Arctic Air products online or at these fine retailers.
Nate Gorman is part of Jack Russell and part Tornado. Make the Bissell Crosswave Hydro Steam. It's part vacuum, pump, steamer, and tornado chaser.
Good scientist.
Curious about GLP-1s? Road helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Connect with a provider today at road.com/TV.
Make your first move with battery power made by Steel. Run
Right now, save $50 on select APCs.
This looks good. And it needs its supplies too.
Progress with his mental health, but his medication caused unintentional movements in his face, hands, and feet called tardive dyskinesia, or TD. So his doctor prescribed Austedo XR, a once-daily TD treatment for kids. Austedo XR significantly reduced Dan's TD movements. Some people saw a response as early as 2 weeks. With Austedo XR, Dan can stay on his mental health meds. There.
Austedo XR can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have changes in mood, or have suicidal thoughts. Don't take if you have liver problems, are taking racetine, tetrabenazine, or benzene. Austedo XR may cause irregular or fast heartbeat or abnormal movements. Seek help for fever, stiff muscles, problems thinking, or sweating. Common side effects include inflammation of the nose and throat, insomnia, and sleepiness.
Ask your doctor for Austedo XR.
Well, that's going to bring it to a close for us for this week.
I'm going to make a prediction. Next week is going to be Monday. It's going to be more wild than the entire week.
It will definitely be good. And don't forget, it's Mother's Day this weekend. Your youngins out there, make your mother a present.
Thank you for having us. I'm Insurance Fee.
And I'm John Roberts. We will see you again. I hope you have a great meeting. Don't forget Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Shalom. All right. The story with Martha.
Good advice. Thanks, you guys. It's so good afternoon, everybody. I'm Martha Allen, and this is The Story. An exclusive interview this hour with Republican Congressman Corey Mills. He has just filed an article of impeachment against President Biden, accusing him of abusing his power by pausing a weapons shipment to Israel, that the money for which had been approved by Congress. So that's sort of the line that they're going in on. They're just going to talk to him about that with regard, of course, to the invasion of Rafah that the White House does not want to see. Now, first, prosecutors say that they could test the case against former President Trump next week. Fox has confirmed his former lawyer and the central character in all of this, the very boisterous and talkative Michael Cohen, is going to take the stand on Monday, and that's going to be interesting. And FDA Alvin Bragg for the report today. Proceeding with former president, calling the case fake, a scam to keep him off the campaign trail. Here he is earlier.
I'm not going to be out campaigning for another week or two as these thugs, these corrupt thugs, and then it includes the judge. He should throw this case out. This case should go no further. Every legal expert, the ones I named and many more, Alan Greasy, another one, many of them, they came out and they said this case should not go forward. It's not a case. It's no crime.
Okay, let's bring Judge Jeanine Pirro, posted at 5. She was at the courthouse again today. Judge, great to have you with us. You know, we were talking earlier about all of your years as a prosecutor, all of your years as a judge. You know all of this in and out, which is of such great value to us. So tell me your takeaway from what you saw there.
Well, you know, I was going to come in and talk about what I listened to. It was very drab, it was technical, it was like a foundation for business versus AT&T, Verizon, and then irrelevant information, communications between Gina Rodriguez on behalf of Quincy Daniels and Dylan Howard on behalf of American Media. And then at the end, the prosecution of the defense says, you know, we'd like, Judge, for you to make sure that Michael Cohen just stops talking. There seemed to be an indication that everybody understood he was coming in on Monday, and so and so the judge, to my astonishment, comes out and to the DA. I'm going to direct the DA to tell Michael Cohen that the judge doesn't want him speaking about this case. And I'm sitting there stunned. You're either a judge, you're wearing a robe, or you're not. And for you to say to the prosecution said, well, no, Ron, we tell all our witnesses not to refrain from speaking about the case. It's such a shell game. The whole thing is about spoken news. The prosecution said, we told him not to talk. He was on TikTok. And now he's running for Congress on that side. And then on top of that, the judge says, well, tell him, well, for me, I'd like it if he'd stop talking. Yeah, this is tell him this is from the bench. Yeah, it's like, go tell him that your father said so. Yeah, and you know, but nothing so incredible in 32 years. In these positions, I have never seen that. And then you have Albert Bragg walking into the courtroom. And I was looking at his back, and he was sitting there crunched up next to his bodyguard. And I'm saying to myself, Albert Bragg, do you know how many defendants are in jail right now, waiting to come to court for trial because of all the COVID delays? And you're in here as a spectator watching a political theater because nothing that happened today had anything to do with Donald Trump. Nothing that's been happening has anything to do with a real crime. It's all smoke and mirrors again to keep Donald Trump in the courtroom. And you know what? I hate to repeat myself, but I just was so reminded as I looked at the judge and thought about myself. You've got the flag of the United States, the flag of New York State, the seal of the state. Above that, in God we trust. You can't trust this justice system with what they're doing to this president, with all of the shenanigans that they're going through to try to make him look bad. Stormy Daniels, that whole testimony yesterday was a charade, it was a show, it was ridiculous. It's prejudicial, but they don't care. They got him on lockdown, and they got him not going on the campaign trail. I haven't talked about the campaign, I've been talking about the law. But the more I witness this, the more I sit there, I say, this is a sham. This is a ban of Joe Biden's out there campaigning, and Donald Trump, the former president, is sitting in the bowels of a courtroom in Manhattan. It's filthy, dirty, where murders, rapists, violent felons, and we got on some bookkeeping thing that's expired from the statute of limitations. This is lunacy, Martha. It's crazy. And even the larger extrapolated charge that this was somehow a campaign violation. The falsified record was a misdemeanor, which, as you say, has run out of statute of limitations. But then because of the defendant is felony, which is, you know, in the furtherance of another crime you falsified these records. We haven't done any of this. And you're tying Trump to any of this, and they're about to wrap up their case. I just want to get a quick preview for you. And with regards to Michael Cohen, I mean, you can talk all you want about the kind of things that the former president says about the people involved in this case, what he just said about the judge, which is perfectly within his rights to say. Michael Cohen, I watched some of his TikTok videos. He's got a shirt on with Trump in jail, and he's basically saying that we're going to look at a listen. You know, why would this judge want both sides to think that he is fit? Why wouldn't he want to say, you know what, tell him to button it up, I'm going to put a gag on him, and we're going to hurt him Monday, I'm going to do little things and be more on him. Yeah, why not keep maybe the weekend before he's testifying? But the answer to the question is obvious, Martha, because he doesn't want to, because he doesn't want to be fair, because he doesn't care about the Constitution as it relates to Donald Trump. It is shocking. The whole thing is blessed. But I'm watching some of the other channels because I want to listen to all the coverage out there. And they're all talking about what a great job Rashawn is doing. He's very even-handed. They're glad that there are two attorneys who are taking in all of this evidence, who are on this jury because they will know how to weigh this evidence. Well, you know what? It is really interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with this jury. Again, we're a jury where 90% of the people hate Donald Trump and won't vote for him. So let's not kid ourselves on that. But as it relates to what we're doing every day, this judge is allowing irrelevant, prejudicial evidence to not prove it. Today, nothing had anything to do with Donald Trump. Nothing. All of these text messages are bringing an odd nauseam. They did it out of 4 hours for this, and Gina Rodriguez said that, and Daily Mail was going to pay 200, and what are you going to do? And then they bring these paralegals from the DA's office in Manhattan. They said, well, you know, Donald Trump said this on Twitter, and at that time this was happening. I mean, the jury is like lying in the city where they don't know what's going on either. They don't know what the crime is. You know, I wanted to go back to this point because I think it adds to what you're saying. The Federal Election Commission looked at this and said there's a law broken here. Now, Albert Bragg was pressured to take this case. You know,
You fucking puto.
To be pursued. He left. He wrote a book about it. He's a lot on the line here. And he's the only one.
I had a hunch.
I agree with you. There's no other case that's going to go to trial before the election. But
But it was just a hunch. No mealy on you.
He's here because he knows, and if he doesn't win this case, he's in deep doo. I mean, because he took it on, he ruined his own reputation. He took a case that previously he refused to take, Sidevance refused it, federal elections refused it, Southern District of New York refused it, and he's watching a judge who's allowing in prejudicial evidence that has nothing to do with the story Daniels have to do with this. If they want to learn to say legitimate NDA, I would have objected to that because the NDA was proven. I mean, in my opinion, I even think they were in to show that there was something that the former president wanted buried, right? This is her story, this is what he wanted to go back. Right? But she couldn't put Donald Trump in the middle of any of the negotiations of the NDA. It was all the attorneys and it was all the people who were working for him. Nobody was a figure like Donald Trump. Let's just show you one of the text messages just to talk to you about your tweet. Bernie's publicist, Gina Rodriguez, and a National Enquirer editor, Dylan Howard, and they're texting back and forth on October 9th, right before the election, 2016. Howard, I can get 100. Rodriguez, laugh out loud. Rodriguez, okay, what about 150? They go back and forth. 110, 125, 120. Says Rodriguez. And, you know, I'll go back to what Hope Hicks said. She said, Michael Cohen called himself Mr. Fix-It, but only after he broke it. Yeah. And, you know, it's quite believable that he was like, I'm handling this whole thing, and I'm not going to bother, you know, not going to bother Mr. Trump with this thing. We're going to figure this out. He's going to be so proud of me, and I took care of this. Yeah, Mr. Fix-It. I mean, it was a moniker that he was proud of. But think about going into the trial on Monday. You know, there is so much affection that's been shown to Donald Trump. Like, he will work great, whether it was okay. So whether it was Donald Westerhout, you know, and a lot even yes. Okay, Michael Cohen is coming in as the most hated guy. Most people really talk about what great he was. And yet they're going to turn him into St. Michael Cohen. I guarantee you. It's going to be interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're on the central figure in the case. Michael Cohen set to take the stand on Monday. And Jonathan Murray joins me next.
The wheels of justice turn slowly, but they ultimately come full circle. For Donald, it's now coming full circle.
If you turn on the President's job show as long as we have,
People always ask metrics. For us, joint health comes first.
and it starts with Costa Rica. Our dogs like athletes in the ring.
There are opinions, just like yours.
Our veterinarian recommends using a Costa Rica
The moments that matter, trust your vet. Exclusively, the #1 veterinary recommended is joint health and official joint health supplement of Westminster Dog. Attention former Marines and family members stationed to take vision. If you live or work to take vision no peril.
Comes the Codex.
30 days from August 1953 to December 1987 and had been diagnosed with cancer or a behavioral offense. And a child born with birth defects or been diagnosed with fertility issues or more, significant compensation may be available. Call Legal Injury Advocates now to discuss your case. It has been proven that moderate negligence during those years was extremely contaminated with toxic chemicals. Legal Injury Advocates has extensive experience helping you to get the maximum compensation you deserve. Don't wait until it's too late. See if you qualify today. You're not alone in this fight, and there are no upfront costs to begin your journey to justice. The call is completely free, and we're available 24 hours a day. Call Legal Injury Advocates to discuss your case now. Call 1-800-899. Call now. You have to feel good, you feel good, you look good. Look good. My name is Gary. I exercise almost every day. I'm more active than the average schedule. I started from my home. And it's been a little bit of a revolution.
We've got the chosen in our sights. It's time to take them out. Damn it, one of our soldiers is down. They're vulnerable to the chosen's attacks in that state. Get them back on their feet, hey,
He filters a permanent medicine, so you never have to worry about constant damage from clogged gutters again.
It's easy to call you Ray.
Call 833-HEAT-FILTER today. Visit heatfilter.com.
Asking you, the mission is just something that everyone can really get behind.
Here he is.
just regular people voting. And I think it's cool to be able to make a difference in someone's life in a way that is meaningful.
After a horrendous speech, Joe Biden in California raising money for his fledgling campaign, but no plans to visit the border. Full details.
Movement engaged. I apologize for your untimely death. Ammo levels critical.
Rock and roll.
Very good. Thank you for your support. It allows our very hard program.
Genesis 5, we confirm destruction of the relay. The alien transmission is down. Eliminate any remaining hostiles and move to evac.
So the Trump campaign calling it a big win today at the criminal trial. The judge did go so far as to tell the prosecutors to give former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen a message, he said, from the bench. Tell him this is coming from the bench. Stop talking about the case. The former president, though, is under an official gag order. But the judge still declined, as Judge Janine was just talking to us about, to do the same to Cohen. Cohen also pleaded guilty to lying to Congress. Prosecutors say that they can back up his testimony with other evidence. The Red Box has confirmed that he will testify this Monday. So let's bring in Jonathan Turley, constitutional law attorney, GWD law professor, and Fox News contributor. Jonathan, great to have you with us as always. I just want to give people a couple of examples, right? But I think some people may have forgotten what he looks like and sounds like. So here he is on MSNBC, and then let's roll right into Michael Cohen.
And you missed, thank God. 2 for the drop.
Care how the media wants to portray me as credible. Whatever happened in the past, whatever I had owned, and things that I claim I shouldn't have been charged with, is irrelevant in this case.
They violated my First Amendment constitutional right, remaining me back a rolling stone because I refused to waive that constitutional protection. My office, not just on me, whatever they did to me, understand, if God forbid Trump comes back from office, he can do it to you.
Okay, Cohen also has hinted at running for Congress in New York. He's worked for Trump for 12 years, went to Cooley Law School, I looked up today, which is a small law school in Michigan. Jonathan Turley, what do you make of what happened today for the judge and the limit to which he may have restricted Cohen from speaking in a couple of days in between now and Monday?
Well, I would not have imposed a gag order on Cohen. That's not the problem. The problem is the gag order on Trump. You know, you're supposed to impose gag orders with a great deal of reluctance and in a very narrow way. You don't just hand them out and silence everybody, including witnesses. And I think the problem here is that it's not clear what the judge is protecting against. I mean, Cohen's out there, attacking the president, campaigning against the president. People are attacking Cohen. What are you protecting against? He's in the middle of a firestorm with his own creation. And so the gag order makes no sense at all. It's achieving nothing except silencing the leading candidate for the presidency. And to have this sudden epiphany that just maybe Cohen should be instructed not to make these statements is a bit late. I mean, he's closing the door after the horse is gone. I mean, we're just the weekend before he appears on the stand. So I would have expected at a minimum that the judge would have been very clear at the beginning of the case that these witnesses are asked not to make public statements. But I tend not to like gag orders generally, and I certainly don't like the one against Trump, which is more imprisonment. And I think it is unconstitutional.
You know, it was interesting. At the end of the day, right before they broke, there was Judge Rashawn raised the possibility of calling former Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg, who is serving a 5-month sentence right now for perjury. He was the top financial executive in the Trump Organization. What was that all about? And is that unusual for the judge? Did you miss that?
Yeah, it's very unusual. It reminds me of the judge when I started out as a lawyer. He was notorious because he would say, is the defense ready to present its case? And turn to the prosecutor and say, are we ready to present our case? And, you know, this is a little bit crossing the line. You're not supposed to be making this a mutual effort. But I expect that people see Cohen on the stand, they're going to wonder, how are you out of jail? I mean, you know, all of the testimony of these witnesses has been focusing on Cohen. It's his legal advice. He's trying to put his client away for following his legal advice. And there's no evidence so far that the president made any decision to hide this as legal expenses. The term legal expenses has been used widely, including by the Clinton campaign, to cover things like funding the steel dust. There's a continued debate as to whether this should be treated as a legal expense. But, you know, Greg has even suggested, what is he supposed to denote it as? I mean, avoidance costs? I mean, it doesn't have any relevance legally. But there's
we would have an item that said much money for Stormy Daniels, I guess, right?
Yes. Apparently he didn't have to. Yeah, apparently he had to not just denote it that way, but somehow put it on the pages of the New York Times. You know, no one knows what he was supposed to do. But there's going to be a moment after Cohen testifies which will determine really how much of a judge this is. Because after the prosecution closes, the defense will move to dismiss this case. The merchant should dismiss it. You will see.
You know, there's so many people who, you know, are smart and follow a lot of what's going on. They don't have time to follow everything here. And they are under the impression that, you know, having an agreement regarding storage
you fucking prick.
is illegal. That's the primary. That's all anyone has heard about, you know?
Right. And they're common in business. There's nothing unlawful. And that jury has been hearing that there were federal campaign violations, suggesting that Trump committed such a violation. He did it. And as you noted earlier, the Department of Justice Castings didn't even fine him for this denotation. But the judge has allowed that jury to think that there is a campaign finance violation being ignorant of.
Well, you know, you're all sides of this. That's in everybody's ears, and the juries, their ears are the ones that matter in this situation. We don't know how they're taking all of this in. And that's just been said about the fact there are 2 attorneys on there. You don't know what their connection is or how they're viewing this. Attorneys see things lots of different ways. So
Well, that was a misclick, you fucking asshole. Where the hell did you end up now?
So just moments ago, Republican Congressman Corey Mills submitted a single article of impeachment against President Biden for what he sees as abuse of power to force Israel to change course. He's going to join us with what his argument is on this next.
In this moment, we must be crystal clear. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. We will make sure Israel has what it needs to take care of its citizens, defend itself, and respond to attacks.
The armor held for now.
Mom jeans. She passed them down to you. But who passed them to her? Ancestry DNA can show her who and where her genes came from. Best of all, it's on sale for Mother's Day. Get it now, before she has to remind you.
It's just your mother and I want different things.
Which is why we got Sling TV.
So we can watch live and free TV all in one app? Sling is really keeping this family together.
Are you satisfied with the results of Democrats printing triple uploads that don't take more than 12 minutes? A crime unit on 50 with its 70 minerals, 80 other music, what do you think about the right side of the screen? Consider placing the order online or call our told you, by all means, check the numbers. I know you can be just as sharp and as healthy as I am and pay attention when you're 90 years old. If you can do a full Christmas, then we'll get there. Put it out. You be glad you did.
Sunday long cut! Little creature! Too soon! Okay, take to it. Sunday grows green grass and is blessed with horns. And every month his customers feed your garden. What is that? Seriously, Jared? It's called Sunday. But it's great as I swear everyone. Go to getsunday.com. 50% off for small ones. This isn't just your normal bike. It folds, it unfolds, and it just goes. You can climb that hill. You're looking to speed. 28 miles per hour. Up to 65 miles per hour. And you're right? This only a simple, ships free, simple as that. Go to electricebikes.com and come ride with us.
To return us to the chaos of over.
As a child, you are a
United in the elders' love for us.
my job is to help them embrace their age. It's just what we do.
RSV is out there. For those 60 years and older, protect against RSV with Arexvy. Arexvy is a vaccine used to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. Arexvy does not protect everyone, and is not for those with severe allergic reactions to its ingredients. Those with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most common side effects are injection site pain, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, and joint pain.
I chose Rexy.
RSV? Make it Arexvy.
It's odd how, in an instant, things can transform. Slipping out of baths and a free fall.
Commander, please thank our troops for completing what was surely a difficult task and acquiring the Codex Ray. We'll begin work on it as soon as possible. Hello, Commander.
Cold. Standing the test of time.
New objective added.
The idea that we would cut off military aid to an ally, true ally in the entire region is absolutely preposterous. It just beyond my comprehension. When we do that.
An unsecured transmission from some
Did a look back there in 2004, so that was President Biden, in 2019, and here he is now on the issue of aid to Israel.
I made it clear that if they go into Rafah, they haven't gone to Rafah yet. If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with that, to deal with the cities, that deal with that problem.
So we moved to Pete Hegseth, going to take her on set, the first supporter Congressman Corey Mills, who calls that a quid pro quo. And hours ago, he filed an article of impeachment against the president when it comes to the fact that this is a technical law. He's a member of the Health and Services Committee and an Army combat veteran. Carson, it's good to have you with us today. Thanks for being here. So obviously, that's a major step. It remains to be seen how much support there will be for it. But just in terms of what you put out there, explain what you believe is the quid pro quo argument in this impeachment article.
Well, it's really no different if you go back to what President Biden had tweeted out previously. He said that withholding congressionally appropriated aid for a return of a political gain is in some way a quid pro quo, and that President Trump should be impeached with regards to Ukraine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and preface this by saying 98% of the language that is in my impeachment articles was actually drafted by Representative Jerry Nadler, who I hope will support this, given the fact that they set the precedence with their own words. But the reality is that when you're trying to withhold humanitarian or any type of congressional appropriated aid for personal political gain, which he does look at political gains, he wants to win Michigan, he wants to pander to the radical left, and think about what he's done here.
He utilized and pulled the wool over our eyes. He released aid to go into Gaza, which fell into the hands of Hamas. He withholds aid to Israel and its ability for defense to take out Hamas from their radical extremism that's going on. And a day prior to this, Martha, a day prior, he signs a waiver to bypass sanctions to send weapons to Lebanon and to send it to Qatar, two of the most anti-Israeli nations. And not to mention that Lebanon has been actually launching attacks with Hezbollah from Hassan Nasrallah. So this is a clear violation. He has multiple that he has committed. One is the take care clause that he violated with not enforcing the border laws that are down there. The other is the separation of powers he violated when he continued to supersede what SCOTUS's ruling was with regards to funding for the college bailout. And now with the quid pro quo, it should be quid pro Joe.
So Mike Pence disagrees with you on this. He says this is totally unacceptable. I'm old enough to remember when Democrats impeached another president for supposedly withholding foreign aid that had been approved by Congress. Stop the threats, Joe. America stands with Israel. Your thoughts on that?
Well, when I start concerning myself with what Mike Pence has to say, I'll stop running for Congress.
All right. I mean, he actually is talking about the withholding of the aid, not about your impeachment. So, a lot of people make a Reagan comparison. And in 1981, he delayed a shipment of U.S. F-16 fighter jets, fighter bombers to Israel in an effort to restrain what the Secretary of State Alpay at the time called an escalating cycle of violence in the Middle East. And don't you think that the president would say, the reason that I'm holding back on this is because I want to protect the people in the Palestinian territory and I want to cool down?
Well, I think that that's actually the opposite of what he's trying to do, because he's continued to try and put aid into Gaza that's falling into the hands of Hamas, who's now selling that aid to the Palestinian people in need to help to fund a potential counteroffensive. Not to mention the fact that when the aid package went through for the supplemental, he actually knew very well what the aid package included, where it would actually be funding, and what articles and materials that would be going in. So he knew very well what the battle strategy was, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was very clear that they would continue to go into Rafah and to eliminate Hamas. And so his idea of not knowing or saying that he's trying to withhold it for other types of reasoning is just not sound, and it's not justified whenever you look at what he already knew.
How much support do you have among your colleagues in the House?
I have quite a few that's supporting these articles of impeachment, as well as for helping me to strengthen them with other language. We have filed it right now. We're hoping that it'll be brought to the floor. We know that there will be a motion to table vote that's on there, but I'm hopeful that my colleagues will join me in holding accountability for once and not just talking about it. If we're truly going to be the governing Republican Party in the House, then let's start acting like it.
Well, interesting to see what your Democrat colleagues think about it, having gone through the impeachment process with former President Trump on Ukraine and the parallels that you point out there. Corey Mills, thank you very much, Congressman from Florida. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Martha.
Pete Hegseth joins me now, Fox & Friends weekend host. What do you think of this impeachment push, Pete?
Well, I think Corey Mills is right, that the reason the White House is doing this is partisanship. It's political. It's poll numbers that are cratering its constituencies that are unhappy with whatever policy they're pursuing in the Middle East right now, which is totally unclear. Whose side are they on? We don't know. But politically, they want to stop the bleeding. And so pushing back on Bibi Netanyahu and saying, you cannot continue your offensive to eradicate the enemy that massacred people is leveraging U.S. aid in a way that's totally improper. And very much, Corey Mills is right, likened to the perfect phone call that Donald Trump had. My issue with Republicans, and this is not with Corey Mills, is where's been the guts for impeachment on, say, the abandonment of Afghanistan, or the Biden crime family, or the southern border, that being the biggest and most obvious one. So yes, I think this would be befitting of that. It's not going to go anywhere. They're not going to garner enough votes. This establishment won't allow it. They should impeach Joe Biden on a total abdication of the southern border, and they should have done it yesterday, and they should do it again tomorrow and again the next day, and remind voters to abandon our country. Yes, standing by our allies is incredibly important, but protecting our southern border and our own homeland is even more important, and Republicans haven't done that.
I want to ask you about the military goals and whether or not Israel is capable of eradicating Hamas without the weapons that are being withheld. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu talking about their strength.
If Israel has to stand alone, we'll stand alone. We'll fight with our fingernails. I assure you, Dr. Phil, we have more than fingernails.
we will be victorious.
Beautiful scene over the old city of Jerusalem there in that interview. What do you think of their military capability? Are they capable of eradicating Hamas, getting to Yahya Sinwar, and making Hamas incapable of another October 7th?
Are they capable? Yes. You just have to untie the hands of the military
without the weapons that are being withheld.
More difficult, no doubt. See, Israel made a calculated mistake years ago, believing that they didn't need to provide their own munitions. They basically outsourced their reliance on munitions to the United States, thinking the U.S. will have our back if we ever really need them. Here we are. Joe Biden doesn't have their back, and now they're stuck. So they'll have to use different types of ordinances, maybe different from other countries. So the bigger bombs required to get to the bunkers and the tunnels, they're not going to. You're going to have to do more infantry type ground operations, which is even more.
What about the idea that if Israel feels like they don't have a strong ally in the U.S., they say, you know what, we're survival of the situation. We need to turn to Russia, we need to turn to China, we need to get what we have to get.
Yes, I mean, they're a sovereign nation, right? Israel is a sovereign nation. They're our allies, but they're going to pursue their interests based on what their prime minister and their Knesset said. So if America abandons them, then they will turn to someone else. But their threat is existential. Joe Biden's turning back on right now.
So the other thing is, with them being in this position where they're more vulnerable, where Iran looks at them and says, hey, the U.S. isn't sending them the stuff that they need, maybe we should make a move. Maybe Israel should make a move on the northern part of Israel. Maybe this is not it.
That's a big concern. Maybe, especially at the tail end of the Biden administration. In this moment, absolutely. They need to be able to finish the job. Israel needs to be able to finish its job to eradicate the terrorists that exist in Gaza, not listen to the international leftists who hate them anyway, no matter what they do. Get rid of the terrorists, and then you've got so many other gathering threats that America's really not addressing. You gotta choose to get on those.
I mean, you have to see 6 steps ahead in these situations, especially when you're the president of the United States and you're making these very big moves, and perhaps,
So can't take one step. So that's the problem.
That's another issue. Good sneakers. Thanks, you guys. Thank you very much. Big heads keep dead tonight on Black Fox Nation. The War on Warriors. This is the new book. It's excellent. You definitely pick it up. All of his writing is really top-notch, and he has so much experience. So that's 7 p.m. Eastern tonight, so be sure to check that out. It'll be great. All right, so President Biden recommits to getting on the debate stage with President Trump after this for the former president.
Let's get to the debate right now. The American people have the right to go anytime, anywhere, any place. Let's go, Joe. Let's debate.
A VIP of some importance to the resistance was on an operation near the city center when Advent forces attacked and pursued them into the tunnels. Our information is that the VIP is currently hunkered down and we need to go in and lead them to safety. Stay alert and watch for enemy movement down there. Resistance VIP is hiding in the tunnels not far from your position. One of their field operatives is also on site to assist you in the rescue. Firebrand is standing by, but be careful. We'll have limited opportunities to set up a viable extraction point down there.